trading card collectors. It's usually what I do. I'm not very good at it. Zan Morning is very good at this kind of stuff. I'm not good at these kind of introductions. I'm getting better though. So,
Yeah.
hey, I'm really happy to have you back on here. I got Michael Moore on like that. Now a WTC writer. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Got a couple articles under my belt for you guys and looking forward to doing a lot more.
How did this work out again? Now I'm trying to remember. See, I think I just randomly reached out to you because I remember last time I talked to you, I think you turned the tables on us off air and then interviewed myself and David, I think something like that, right?
Right. What happened was you had messaged me because I was going to write an article about when you relaunched the site, and you had messaged me and said, "Hey, you still planning on doing that?" And this was, several months later, and I was kind of like, "Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really doing much for the Torch anymore. I'm just kind of burned out, and it's nothing against them. It's just I've been doing it for 10 years, and you said, well, you want to write for us? And I was like, yeah, that would be, because the thing with the Torch was I was doing a little bit of everything. I was doing trading cards and toys and programs and belts and everything, and that's not really my interest. I mean, it's cool, it's fine to write about, but my passion of it has always been trading cards. And so to be able to limit that focus into this, and bounce some ideas off this community that we have through Twitter and things like that, I just thought was a better idea, and took us a little while to get going, but here we are.
Yeah, it's my fault, I think, on my end for establishing a page that can be done that. I mean, I know it's really crude right now. I hope it's like housing your work at least properly, I hope.
I think it's simple and easy to follow, and I think that's all you really want.
Yeah, I mean, and again, nothing against the Torch like that, but I find websites like that to be that are overly busy. That I lose interest in wanting to navigate myself to the site. So when it was just your articles, I had bookmarked just the page for you for your articles. That's
Okay.
That's all I would go to on their site, was to come read your articles.
Right. Well, that's cool.
It's just because it's too busy. It's just too busy for me. So it has no interest for me to go around, look at, what's the latest figures, because I'm not into figures. What's the latest news?
Right.
I don't really follow the product that much, except for like highlights. And I just wanted to focus on cards. That's all I really cared about. And when you wrote about cards, I'm like, okay, got to read that.
And that was something I found myself having to kind of watch what I was doing, because that was primarily what I wanted to write about. But at the same time, I knew I wasn't writing for a card audience specifically, so I needed to write for, toy collectors and belt collectors and programs and photos and t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. But, what I really wanted to be doing is writing about cards mostly. And so I think this is just a much better path for that, for us to go down there.
When you're writing for something like that, and they're kind of were they expecting you to write about all the different types of collectibles, or was that something you just kind of absorbed on your own and, oh, I got it now, I better work?
Well, I've been a toy collector too for years and years. But when I started with the Torch in 2011, my kids were young, and they were really, really into wrestling figures. And so it was something that we did together. When there were new figures coming out, we'd go look for them together. As my kids got older, they lost interest in especially the WWE stuff. And so I still keep up with the figures somewhat, but not like I used to. But, I've been a card collector since 1985. So with the Torch, I was just kind of had free reign to write about whatever I wanted to write about. And I kind of tried to gauge my articles on the audience that I would get, either through emails or through Twitter or things like that. And there was a lot of figure collectors there, and I think that's what most of my audience was figures. And so that's why I was trying not to go too heavily on cards there, even though that's what I wanted to be doing.
Did you find it is it easier for you to write about cards or figures, because you collect both? You collected both for so many years.
Right. I think cards are probably easier just because I've been doing it for so long. I wrote my first article for Beckett back in like June of 2001, and wrote for them for several years, and Tough Stuff for several years. And it's just something I've done for so long. And it doesn't require, one thing that really helped me out was your guys' site, to be able to go, if I needed to know if something existed or if something, where to find something, I could just go to your site, find it really easily. But as far as knowing the backgrounds and kind of the in and outs of the hobby, I've been collecting and doing shows and stuff for so long that it's probably easier for me to do that.
I remember when I used to run, WTC came from an old site I used to run called Collect. And Collect was just kind of the updated news on what's coming out for wrestling. And then we added like Playboy, cards, Buffy, and Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
And so what ended up happening was my friend Mark at the time was helping me do that. And he says, you know what? I think Tough Stuff's ripping us off because they're putting all the same stuff that we're putting up. They put up on in their magazine, like after we put it up on the website.
Really?
Yeah, he swears this day, he full on believes that they were just taking straight from us.
Wow.
When you're writing about cards, what's the most difficult thing for you to do research about cards? Like what's the most difficult thing to write about cards in general?
I think for me, probably trying not to, and I know this is different because I've got a different audience now. It's not the torch artists, but for me, having done this for so long, is not rewriting the same thing twice, and not falling. And also, and this goes into just being a professional writer, not falling into a trap of using the same words and just the same style over and over and over again. That's certainly, and one of the other things too is I want to make sure I'm accurate, because people will very quickly jump on me if I say this is so and so's only autograph card,
Yeah.
and they say, now you got a 1995 Topps main event card that might exist out there somewhere.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, and making sure, and so that's why I always kind of, especially when I was writing for the Torch, I would always say, as a caveat, these are the cards that we've identified that exist through the WTC archives. Doesn't mean they're the only ones out there, but these are kind of what we know about right now.
It's very true. And they're always so quick to point out to you like that. No, there's this card. Right. And no, what about that? It's a sticker, but it still qualifies as a card these days. And
right.
What are your thoughts on that, by the way? What are your thoughts on the sticker versus trading card, gaming cards? Like where do you draw the line?
I don't know. I don't really, I just kind of see them as separate things, I guess. I thought I bought a few of those Bushi Road cards from Japan when those were out a few years ago, and I have some stickers that I actually just found from the 1994 vending machines, the Topps holographic ones.
Oh yeah.
And I remember, and I wish I would have kept the AWA vending machine stickers from the 80s.
Yeah.
Having some, those were cool. As a card collector, I don't know that I necessarily have the kind of interest in that somebody else might. I'm kind of more traditional trading card type of thing.
So because WTC does now archives checklists for stickers, because that's what people want. And as long as there's somebody out there who knows the stuff, I have no problems archiving that stuff, as far as, because it kind of fits that gray area of that card collector. I mean, with the 97, Panini stickers, going crazy with the Rock rookie cards and stuff. And, the market dictates that stuff, am I looking forward to archiving like the wrestling price guy? Paul's got an amazing website, and he archives now like prices for Valentine's Day cards and postcards and stuff like that. And I'm like, do I want to get? I personally don't want to get involved in that. But if the collector base says, I think you need to have it on the website. Here's the checklist. Here's a UPC number on a box, and hey, by all means, I'll archive it. I'll put it up there. Yeah. And I put it in the appropriate year.
It is interesting what's become considered trading cards. I never would have thought when I bought that 1997 Cardinal WWF trivia game that those cards in there would one day be collectible trading cards, and that Rock card would be, thousands of dollars graded. But here we are.
Again, it's an ever changing and evolving market, and the hobby as a whole. I think we're at this point right now where, everything becomes gradable now too. Like, now I just saw like a few weeks ago, I knew nothing about it. I just saw a few weeks ago, I saw they're grading VHS tapes. I'm like, what the hell, man?
All right, really?
Yeah.
I knew about the video games and stuff, but I didn't know they were grading VHS tapes.
I saw like a 9.3, or there's really real weird scaling. It might have been like a CGS type of grading. It was like a 9.3 or maybe 9.5, like, it was a VHS tape that was still factory sealed.
Wow.
And so it's like, wow. I have a bunch of VHS tapes from old stuff, but none of them were sealed. So I guess none of them were worth anything. I have some Disney ones from when my daughter was a kid, clamshell stuff.
Yeah, we still have all those. And I actually found a couple years ago, Wade Keller from the Torch sent me this big box of old wrestling stuff that he didn't want anymore. And there were some pretty cool VHS tapes in there. There was the 94 Best of the Super Juniors tournament from Japan, and some MW stuff, and then some old AWA stuff. And
I think I have some. I think I have some right here. I have one of these. I have still factory sealed.
King of the Deathmatch, nice.
Yeah, got a few of those. I got these super popular ones, Path of Destruction.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think I have a couple of those too, the ECW ones.
I have Rule the Asylum.
Yeah.
And then I think I have Steve Austin, Master of Mayhem. And I have a Jeff Jarrett one too, like these stupid ones.
Holy cow. Yeah.
So it's just so funny. We're talking about VHS, and I forgot I have them in a box sitting right here. Don't worry, there's going to be like a Tony's storage unit find stuff like that episodes coming up. That's Zan's talked me into doing. So
Nice.
we'll be doing those pretty soon. But so yeah, I'm just kind of, since we're talking about stickers and the current markets like that. I mean, what's your take on the current market right now? What do you like? What do you dislike? What's going on with you as far as that goes?
It's been, I think things are coming back down to earth, and I don't think the wrestling thing has been as crazy as some of the other sports card stuff. I mean, it's been, as a longtime collector, the last years has been atrocious for me with all of the having the vulture capitalists come in and really drive the prices up of secondary market stuff. And like I said, I don't think wrestling is that bad. I think a lot of the wrestling growth is natural growth, but it's impossible to find cards anywhere because you got people lined up at the retail stores to buy everything they put on the shelves, and you have stores not carrying it and people pulling guns on each other. Thing is ridiculous. And there's just, I've argued with several people about this, that there's no way that these type of values can be sustained. When you take a mid-level running back rookie and you pay $5,000 for his rookie card, it's not going to be worth it. I hate to tell you, I've been doing this for 25 years. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But fortunately with the wrestling stuff, it's not as bad. I think wrestling is a lot more specific to the wrestling collector. And so you don't have nearly as many outside people coming in and driving prices up, other than some cards for like The Rock or some people like that. But it's been a little more difficult over the last year to get some autographs too. There's a couple that I've been chasing down that I haven't been able to get. And wow, talk about timing. I had put off getting a Paul Orndorff autograph, and then about a week ago I bought one of his Leaf autographs finally, because I found one for about $30, and then I get it in the mail on Monday, the same day I found out he passed away. So I was glad I was able to get that.
Yeah, and that card I think made it into your recent article you wrote too.
Yeah, that was kind of the inspiration for it. And I was actually working on, and I'm not going to say too much because I'm still working on it, but I was actually working on a similar article on another wrestler. And then when I heard the news about that, I changed directions and decided to go ahead and put something together for Paul Orndorff, because he was a favorite of mine when I was a kid. He was
yeah, because your article says you even predicted his heel turn.
Yeah, my friend. I remember sitting there and just thinking like, something's not right. He's going to turn bad. My friend said, no, he's not. He's a good guy. And because we were not a year into wrestling at that point. We hadn't seen this kind of stuff. We didn't know. But I thought the way I was like, this is going to happen. And I remember just being heartbroken when, and I was no Hulkamaniac. I mean, Hogan's act got really tired with me really fast, but I didn't like seeing Paul Orndorff, as a 10-year-old kid. I didn't like seeing him with Bobby Heenan and Adrian Adonis and those people. That was heartbreaking.
Did you turn on him? You became no longer a fan?
No, I didn't. But I was disappointed in it. But if he had turned on somebody other than Hogan, that might have been the case. But I was over Hogan pretty fast, so I didn't mind.
But he became a bad guy. He played it so well, too, like that. So you rooted for the bad guy.
Yeah, in his case, I did. Yeah, and he was. I mean, I've been reading a lot of articles recently about his run with Hogan and how it was Hogan's most marketable and most profitable run he had as champion, and he was perfect in that role. And they hadn't yet gotten into that pattern of feeding Hogan a monster, and so they actually had this guy who was a big tough wrestler who was actually taking him on and was perceived as a real threat to him. And so he was great in that role.
Switching up here a little bit, coming from a writer's perspective like that, then what do you look forward to writing wise, like what do you have coming up possibly, or
I like kind of looking taking, and this is kind of bleeds over into my day job, but I like kind of looking at taking a statistical look at how many independent trading cards are there now versus 5 years ago, and kind of looking at the rise of that, and just some different changes on, one of the things I like doing, I did for a couple times for the Torch, was I did an article on how many action figures does each wrestler have, where I actually built some graphs and would have, John Cena and his 300 action figures standing on top of, whoever Triple H or Randy Orton, whoever it was. So I like doing that kind of stuff. I like writing about new stuff that we find, and that I don't mean by new releases, but I mean stuff that just gets discovered that we didn't know about, or maybe we knew about, but like that. I did that article on the TNA Extreme set, which wasn't new. It's 10 years old, but when you go back and look at it, there's so many unique names in there that aren't in other sets. And so I
Correct.
like
Yeah.
and finding something different, something that's already been out there to write about.
Do you follow and collect? I mean, do you still collect any modern stuff still, or?
Yeah, as it comes out. I mean, not a whole lot. I'm not a set builder or anything, but as an autograph comes out of somebody that I collect, of Bret Hart, or I don't think I collect any active wrestlers other than I've got autographs from some of the New Japan guys, but I keep up with everything that comes out, and look for if there's relics or autographs, especially the Leaf stuff. I thought Leaf has done a good job of getting a different group of wrestlers in there over the last couple of sets they've done.
Do you even follow like the indie sets that come out?
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. I've got most of the Brian sets, the PWG sets, and I bought the All In set and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I keep up with all that stuff too.
The GCWs and stuff like that.
Yep.
I just sat and did an interview recently. It's aired last week with one of the photographers for that stuff. And so basically going from the photographer standpoint and taking those pictures and putting them on cardboard.
Oh
and,
yeah.
So he's got so much stuff. His name was Earl Gardner, and super nice guy. And he's one who puts like that Earl's Eye or something like that. He puts out these issues called Earl's Eye, and he does a lot of the death match stuff. And he shot almost all those GCW trading card sets. Like that's all, a lot of his stuff. So he's got some surprises coming out end of the year, he said too. So I'm looking forward to that.
And GCW just did a pay-per-view here in Wyoming a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how the heck that happened and how I missed it, but I was really bummed when I found out about it the next day that somehow they were in Laramie 2 hours away and I didn't get to go. But
oh yeah, I've never been to one of their events. I've seen some video highlights like that. It seems like a fun, crazy show.
Yeah, it does.
What are your thoughts on the new Impact set that just came out, by the way? Because it's some people got really upset about that new Impact card set that sold out within under 2 hours, or about 2.5 hours. Limited 300 sets on a Monday morning.
Yeah.
So people's like, oh, well, I only have 300 sets. It seems like a real low number. And on a Monday morning, I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either until they were sold out, and then I don't know. I just wasn't real blown away by the names of the people who were in it. I mean, seemed, especially the autographs, it seemed like a lot of people who have been around forever and have a billion cards as it is. But yeah, I understand if you're a completist and trying to collect everything and you don't get a shot at it. But they don't have the audience to do a TriStar type set anymore where they can mass produce something. So I mean, unfortunately, that kind of is what it is. There's some of the other companies like what's one Ultra Pro, is that what it is, in California? Did their sets where they did 250 of each person, and some stuff like that. But I just don't think Impact has the following to do a mass release set like that. And 300, I think if they'd produced 1,000, they'd have produced way too many. But 300 maybe was a little low.
It's and they're enticing you to have to buy the second series because of the numbering sequence in that set too.
Right.
And which I think, to me, from a marketing standpoint, I think it's brilliant. But it kind of ensures that collectors are going to have to go out there and finish that set. And what better way to do it than say, well, our set starts at number 4.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that one. I was hesitant about getting it, and I did buy one. And so my wife was sitting in the office with me, and I'm like, I'm going to buy. No, I'm not going to buy. Yeah, I'm going to buy. I'm like, she's like, how much is this? $30 a set. She said, just buy one. And I'm like, I don't want to buy it. It's $30 for a set, 10 cards. And she's like, you're going to regret it if you don't buy it. And I'm like, all right. So I bought one.
Yeah. For the price, it's good. I don't think it was a bad deal or anything. I just don't know.
You think it's a good price for a 10 card set?
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on how you look at that. Because I guess some of the other smaller independent companies, a lot of times will sell individual cards for $2 a piece. Or
well, so you could buy when it first came out. You could buy a card set for like $25. It's like a 30 card set.
Right. Yeah. So I guess 10 card set, but you got an autograph with that too.
That's true. You do get an autograph in the box like that, which is true. So
I mean, not exactly major stars, but
no, it's true. But I mean, it appeases the fan base that actually does follow that product. Like they're kind of cool with it. I see that on the secondary market, people are asking like $100 for a set now, just for an open box. And I've got two behind me. One I'm keeping, and then one I'm giving away when we hit 1,000 followers on Twitter. It's like that.
Oh, cool.
So we're at 900 as of this morning, which is great. So we're on our way there. But I'm super. Me personally, let me just tell you from a personal standpoint. Me personally, when you and I had a discussion going back and forth about you doing some articles on WTC, to me that has been the most exciting thing for me for WTC since relaunching it. Because
Oh, cool.
I talked to David about it, and David goes, are you effing kidding me? And I go, no. I said, I think it. He's like, well, how much is he? How much is how much? What how does it happen? And I said, I just messaged him, and it just be happenstance, and I was just kind of following up on an article that I thought he wrote up about us like last year, and and so and here we are. And to me, it's the most exciting thing is to have, to me, a legit writer, a legit person in the hobby that sort of, more, not that we need to, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not to make it so that, make WTC more legit.
Right.
I think we've been legit by, for the length of time we've been around, almost 20 years now.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and that it's just, to me, it takes it to another level. I think it's, here we are in 2021. I never would imagine that we're adding more card sets, when I sort of lost that passion and stopped doing things back in the, the mid 2000s, and David stopped doing it in 2014, 2015. When I wake up to a message from a collector on Twitter, and I think I even tweeted it, I screen captured it. I took the guy's name out of it because I didn't want to embarrass him, but saying that I've been waiting 7 years to see an update that I saw today on WTC, because it's been, and I'm like, wow, that was like, it was so amazing to hear that. And the response I've gotten from people saying, you got that guy from Torch, Michael Moore's gonna be writing for WTC?
Really?
And I said, yeah. I said, can you believe that? And I'm super happy to have you on board. I'm super happy to look forward to your future articles. I've loved each one so far. I've loved them all
Cool.
anyway. So, I always love the research you put into it, and you give the credit to people who, where you get an image from, which is nice. And people like that, they get the credit for it. And so I'm looking forward to whatever you got coming up next. And I don't know how frequent, you've got free realm to just kind of write what you want to write about. And, how often do you think that people can expect articles from you?
I'm hoping to get back to doing things about once a week. It's been a little challenging just because of the my day job right now has been a lot of deadlines coming up, so I've been a little busy with that. But by the end of the summer, I think I'll be back to being able to get up one article a week.
That's awesome. How long does it take you to formulate an idea, put it on paper, and be happy with it?
I've always got ideas going on. I've got 5 or 6 in my head right now, but it depends on the topic. The Paul Orndorff one was really quick because it was all in my head at that point. It was fresh. It was new. That the TNA one I did was kind of a struggle, the TNA Extreme set, because I had tried to get some input from a couple different people, and some people didn't get back to me. Some people didn't get back to me with what I was asking. Some people did get back to me, and I used their quotes in the article. But that one was harder than I thought. So it kind of depends on and that's one of the nice things about doing writing for you versus writing for a magazine, where they would tell me we want X number of words by X date. And if they gave you a topic that wasn't too terribly exciting, I one time wrote a card on top loaders for Beckett, and the other, what types of top loaders are out there for this, and that was like, wow, how the heck am I going to write this? But it's nice having kind of some free reign to write about what I know about or what I don't know about, which is something else I really like. That if there's a topic in particular that anybody wants to read about or has an idea about, I'm all open for it. Just contact me on Twitter, and I'd love to dig into it some more.
Yeah, I was going to ask, where can people contact you? And I think when they see this episode, they can actually leave, comments below. It's like that. If they have suggestions or ideas,
cool.
or, and I have it that's done. So it's in a blog format now on the site, which was never done before. So I'm kind of hoping for some more, interactions with other collectors, like that, to leave comments and things like that. And as the site starts to grow and evolve, and I start putting the image links back up there, the image links themselves will be blogs, so that they themselves will be able to, you can comment on a number one card from 1985, tops, if you want to. You can link it. You can link it to a previous sale or something like that, or whatever you want, like that. Obviously it's a lot more for me to police, but because I've kind of left it open, so it's got, some back end plugins to kind of hopefully filter out any like bots, hopefully. But I kind of want to keep things civil and not have people go back and forth and arguing. But the wrestling card community is pretty good community as it is.
We've got a pretty good group of guys in this community, I think. And I think if there gets to be a problem with, like you said, with bots or something along those lines, that probably, I think the community will kind of police itself and hopefully shut that kind of stuff down.
Yeah, I mean, I had the power to go in and turn things off like that, I guess so. But I want to see some more people, communicating and talking. I know there's a lot of other places that do it on Twitter and Facebook and Discord and things like that. And we have so many different channels that people like to go and chat on. But I'm hoping that the site itself becomes like a house again where people can go and get the information they need and then talk about it directly on the page itself, like that, about certain things. So I'll be doing a wonderful little chit chat tonight about this Jericho card that's going crazy tonight with somebody else.
Holy cow! Yeah,
and
that's crazy. I was looking at that a couple hours ago, and that's nuts.
I'd seen the post. I'd seen the listing maybe 3-4 days ago. And then I knew when I saw, and I knew it gets to Jericho eventually, and he loves that kind of stuff. So of course you're like, look at me, I'm worth $500,000 on cardboards like that, And so it's just gonna be fun to chit chat about that and get some information about it. And but again, I'm super happy you're on board, man. I look forward to each one of your articles. I know David does. I know a lot of people look forward to it, and just waiting for the next one, man.
Cool. Well, hopefully about another week there'll be another one up. And yeah, like you was talking about earlier, got the Paul Orndorff one up right now. Go check that out if you haven't. And,
check it out. Yeah.
Like I'm always open for more ideas. So if there's anything in particular you'd like to see covered, just hit me up on Twitter or my email address is always posted on the articles there. It's michaelmoorewriter@gmail.com.
Yep, got it all there, man. And I don't know what else is, man. I'm stoked to have you. I'm just stoked to have you on board, man.
Sure.
To me, you're part of the team. You're part of the WTC teams like that. So, what's different this time around the last time is that it used to just be me. Then it was me and David. And for a long time, it was just David. And, WTC wouldn't be anywhere near what it is without David. And then this time we came around, it was important to assemble a team. I got Chuckster on board. Got, there you're gone. I got Armand on board.
Back?
Yeah, you're back. And then, got Paul on board, and Paul's been instrumental because he's kept up so much stuff on his website. We're kind of, playing off each other and really helping each other out. Like, hey, you want prices? Go here. You want checklists? Go here. So we help each other, and then, now it's like, it's all part of the team, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
So I appreciate it. And I appreciate you giving me some time. I know you got to take care of those kids there too. And
yeah. Yeah, my son made dinner, so I got to go up and eat. But
all right, man. And I appreciate it. I appreciate your time as always.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, guys. And if anybody else, you can get a hold of us through, just go to wrestlingtradingcards.com. I've got everything on the site now, how to get a hold of us on Facebook. I even created an Instagram page because people wanted it. Discord, Twitter. I think I even have Anchor and YouTube, all that stuff. It's all there. It's all there. So anybody, if you like this, please give it a like. If you have comments, leave comments. And make sure you go follow our good guy right there, Michael Morris, like that. Guy writes a lot of great stuff, and I think you should go check it out.
Thank you.
All right, man. Until next time.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.
We're out.
Bye-bye.